Alright guys, we are on. Welcome back to Life Beyond the Mask. I'm your host Tom Hobbs, and for the first time we're doing a bit of a YouTube podcast simulcast. So we've got the video set up, so if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll wave at you, welcome in, and if you listen to this on Spotify, then welcome back to the pod. This is episode number 3, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about taking off the mask so you can deliver your gift. Now, this is obviously the essence of this podcast and I guess the end result of a big journey that I've been going through, this whole concept of unmasking yourself, taking off the mask, and obviously the name of the pod is Life Beyond the Mask. And it's no surprise that there are so many people out there in the world that are living a very limited life because of who they've been led to believe that they are, who they think they need to be. This little box that we need to fit ourselves in to be accepted and to be liked. And unfortunately, the majority of people go about their life without ever realizing that they are wearing a mask and they're actually suppressing and pushing down their true self. And in the process of that, not actually being able to deliver their gift, or not delivering their gift in as big of an impact as it actually deserves. Right? I am a big believer that everyone on this earth has a gift to deliver that is something that only they can deliver in their own unique way. Right? Everyone has got this light that the world needs from them. It's why you were placed here in the first place. However, when we let the world get to us, right, through doubt, through fear, through insecurity, through things like body dysmorphia, anxiety, playing small, comparison, fear of judgment, all these different things, they all culminate in this mask that we wear every single day that we wake up, and it pushes our ability away to deliver this gift. And this was something I struggled with for honestly most of my life. And, at the time of this recording, I've been on a big spiritual journey in the last couple of weeks and another sort of separate journey in the last 48 hours that has shone even more light on this. So it's something that is sort of never ending. But if you don't know my backstory, I battled body dysmorphia for over half my life, sort of 15, 16 years, years and years of self-doubt, of feeling less than as a man, of this inferiority complex, of always judging myself based on others, on believing other people would judge me. And that really led me to living this, I guess, quote unquote, playing small kind of life. I always felt like I needed to mold myself around what I thought would get me liked, what would give me the validation, what would give me the reassurance, what would have me be accepted. And this was around, my friendship circles, this was in my relationships, this was definitely in my business. And it led to just all kinds of different problems, right? And at the core of it was I didn't have the confidence and certainty and conviction in who I was for me to show up as my authentic self. And when we do this and we leave this unchecked, we start to create this, what I call a core story. We start to create these belief systems. We start to create this identity, and this lens in which we see the world through that is reflective of this limitation. Right, so if I look back at so many of the struggles and down periods of my life, they were all very self-inflicted, and that was because I was showing up to the world with this mask on, and as I said, it's something that a lot of people are either forever unaware of, or they're aware of it, but they don't actually know how to fix it because in their mind they have lived this way for so long. Right, their world, their reality is reflective of all of the limitations they place on themselves. Right, for example, with my body dysmorphia, for that 15 years, because I had so much evidence that I'd accumulated, because that was who I told myself I was, around my body and it not being normal or not being good enough, or other people judging me or not finding me attractive, or even when I got into PT on the gym floor, feeling this lack of worthiness because of the way I looked or the way that I perceived that I looked, because by that point I actually looked fine. That just created all this evidence to support this this negative core story, and that was that impacted the way that I lived my life. And a lot of people are just completely unaware that they have this mask on. And so what happens is that gift that they are here to deliver is then pushed down, right? It is watered down. Or for most people, they just don't actually believe that they even have anything to offer the world. They just go through life just ticking the boxes, right? They do the 9 to 5 grind for someone else that they don't like. They put up with mediocrity and average and relationships that, don't fulfill them. They live a lifestyle that is just normal, that is just the way it is, right? This is what I do. I go to work, I come home, I eat, I might spend some time with my family, I go on holiday once a year, if that, among other things. And this is just the way things are, right? But deep down in everyone, there is this spark that you are here for more, that there is a gift that you can deliver, that there's a purpose you actually put on this earth, right? A human without a purpose is always going to be unfulfilled. He's always going to end up sort of sad and miserable and be at the mercy of who the world tells them to be. And that's at the crux of what wearing this mask is. You're like a free agent, right? In sport, right? Everyone can pull you into different directions. This is where people pleasing comes in, because if I people please, then they're going to like me and I want to be liked, right? Because I'm wearing this mask. Because if I just be myself, because I don't have the confidence and conviction in who I am, I haven't owned my authenticity, I haven't owned my uniqueness, they are not going to like me. And if they don't like me, to our ego, that is like a bullet to the heart, right? So we put this mask on, we fit in, we people please, we put other people's needs above ours, and we end up sad and miserable and frustrated, right? And we end up in these self-sabotage cycles. And this is something that a lot of my clients face as well. They have these cycles that they go through because we get them to, take that mask off for a little while and have awareness around that. But then when they go back to their default, they go back into that people-pleasing state. They go back into, oh, that's right, I forgot. This is actually who I am. This is who the world tells me to be. This is what I need to do. I need to fit in. And so they end up back in these sabotage cycles. And again, these are the challenges and the hurdles that we need to go through that are eventually going to lead us to, being able to deliver this gift. But not everyone actually gets there because they get stuck in these cycles, and it's the same problems, the same challenges over and over and over again, right? So when we're in those challenges, when we're in those cycles, we've got that mask back on, right? We're acting from a completely different place than the place in which we truly want to be coming from. And this is what I guess a lot of the work that I do is centered around, especially around your self-image, so the way in which you perceive yourself, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act, and the lens in which you see yourself and the world through. That's why this is so important, because when we get into these cycles, it's not the cycles in and of themselves that are the problem. It's almost the unconscious thinking that gets us back into those cycles. And when we leave that unchecked, we're just going to experience a range of negative and pessimistic emotions. So this whole concept of unmasking and getting people to see through this illusion the illusion of the world, telling them who they need to be, it's why this is so important. And as I've gone on my journey and I've gone through this personally, I've also then been able to sort of tie together all of the work that I've done with the amazing clients that I've worked with. And it's been awesome because I've got a couple of clients at the moment that I'm working with, and I'm having these next level conversations with, and it's all really resonating, and they're sort of seeing through the illusion at the same time that I am. We're sort of growing and building together, which is what has led to this Unmasked Collective, which I actually don't think I've spoken about on the first 2 episodes, so I'll touch on that in a second. But it's this, like, at the end of the day, there are high level conversations, and there are there's a high level thinking that us humans need to start to access. And I realized, because my history is I was a PT on the gym floor, then I was an online coach, and I built a whole business and following around being the online coach. But as I've sort of progressed on my journey and gotten clearer on my purpose and the gift that I'm here to give, I've realized that it's not to have these more surface level conversations around like fucking insecurities and calories and training programs and whatever. And it's like, we still do those things because that's part of the strategy. But I want to be having conversations with people from a place where they don't have that mask on. Because if I'm talking to a client, and this is often the case, obviously, when we start, we're having conversations and they've got that mask on. They're answering my questions. They're perceiving things. They're expressing from a place of limitation, right? Because they haven't learned how to take that mask off. So, for example, if I ask someone what their goals are, their outcomes are, they'll often answer that from what they think is possible for them, not what they truly desire, right? Because with that mask on, like, oh, well, yeah, I want this life or this money or this relationship, but because this is who I am, this is the mask that I got on, I can't have that, so I'm going to, settle for this, right? And that's super, super common. But once we get through that phase, like these couple of clients that I speak on in particular, our conversations are just completely different. It's like, cool, we understand what the roadblocks are, what the struggles are, what the challenges are, what mask we need to get rid of, and we do the work around that. But the way we dissolve those problems is by having conversations and raising standards. It's not, okay, let's focus on the problem. Let's not focus on the mask. Let's focus on, okay, who are you here to be? Who is the man or woman that you need to be in order to deliver your gift, right? And often for people, the first part is actually just owning the fact that they have cosmic significance, that you are here, God has put you here for a reason to deliver a purpose and a gift to the world. Cool, once we understand that, we don't need to know what it is right then and there, right? That will come. But then it's like, okay, what kind of person do I need to be to actually be able to do that? And this is where the training and nutrition comes in. This is where the mindset work comes in. This is where maybe the business idea comes in, or the side hobby, or whatever it might be, the type of man or woman you want to attract in to your family and relationships. That's where that starts to come in, because then we're working on the individual to build you up to a place where you can deliver the gift to the world. So for me, getting to this place now to be able to have these conversations and take this next step in business and what I'm here to do, like so much of my journey and getting into better shape and taking control of my health and getting rid of limiting belief systems and attracting in a beautiful partner and relationships, these are all just little pieces in the overall transformation I've been going through to become the man that can deliver my gift to the world, which is this work, helping people unmask themselves to make the world a better place. Right? It is all interconnected, but most people will sit in the problems and they're only focused on the problems, and they're not focused on why they actually need to solve the problems outside of, I just don't want to experience this anymore. Right? It's like they're running away from the wolf rather than pursuing something themselves. Right? I just don't want to feel like this anymore. I just don't want to have the negative feelings. I want them to go away, rather than I'm creating a life that doesn't have time for body dysmorphia, for insecurity, for doubt, for second guessing, because this is why I'm here. This is my significance. This is the gift I need to give to the world. This is the man or woman that I need to be for my family. This is the world I want to create for my kids to go out in. Like, that's been a big one for me recently too. Like, getting people into my world to work with them so we can all work together to create a world with people in it that I would be really happy for my future sons and daughter or whatever I have to go out into and to live in. Right? So there are just bigger conversations that we need to have than a lot of the surface level problem-centric conversations that go on a lot of the time. And people will often ingrain and make this mask worse by always focusing on the problems, the things they lack, the scarcity mindset. They're stuck in this worldly conditioning of problem focus rather than the creator. God has put you here for a purpose. He wants to give you everything that you desire. He wants to help you, but we shut ourselves off to that advice. We shut ourselves off to that kind of life because in our minds, worldly, limited, that couldn't be possible because I am me and I'm insecure and I have this and I don't like my body and blah, blah, blah. And I've got a past of failures or whatever it might be. Right, so it's just this next level of being, of living, of connection to soul, of connection to higher power. And as I said, we still focus on getting into epic shape, tightening up our diet, the calorie numbers, the mindset work, the journaling, all these different components of it. But the purpose is very different. I'm not running away from these problems. I'm focused on being able to deliver my gift, find my gift in the first place, and become the best man or woman in order for me to do that. And when that is your reference point, when that is the conversations we're having, a whole new world opens up. And as I mentioned before, I've just created something like literally yesterday at the time of this recording called the Unmasked Collective. And that was off the back of the realization that this work that I do is so important, and I want to create a group, a community, a collective of people that are all thinking the same, that all have and share very similar worldviews, that are all here to make the world a better place and to own their gift, and we can all help and interact with each other. So my job as the leader of this is to, yes, help them actually unmask, be like, cool, these are the things that are holding me back, these are my problems, these are my challenges, this is what I like to be able to do. Sweet, we do the work, the mental, physical, emotional and spiritual work to do that. But then outside of that, it's like, cool, come into our community, come into the free Telegram community, which I'll touch on in a sec, and just immerse yourself in this kind of space. Like, let's get out of the world for a second. Let's get out of limitation for a second. Like, come and be your true, authentic self. You are welcome here. The world needs you. Your loved ones fucking need you to wake up to this illusion of the world. So yeah, the Unmasked Collective is literally a free Telegram community. It is the hub for everything that I do outside of these podcasts and YouTube videos. I'm now off. Well, I'm still on, but I'm not using traditional social media, Instagram, TikTok, even Facebook. I might dabble with Facebook, I'm not sure. But Instagram, TikTok, I don't really have interest in, because I want a very, very, very specific individual, and I want to build this movement, this community off traditional social media platforms. So the Unmasked Collective is the free Telegram community. It is linked down below. It is, as I said, free, no strings attached, and you will just find, as we go on and I add to these episodes and I add to the content and the voice notes and the resources inside that community, it's just one big invitation for you to step up and lead with us, right? And start to live a life without this mask that you've felt you've needed to wear for way too long now. And if we all do this together, when we all do this together, like, this is what is really going to start changing our communities, changing our families, changing our generations, right? The generations of our family to come, and changing the world as a whole. And I can't even begin to express how much better I feel, how much more peace I feel, more clarity, more certainty in myself, in why I'm here, and even looking at the challenges and struggles that I'm having, because I'm absolutely having them, but I'm just seeing them in such a different way now because of, this, I guess, illusion I've been able to break through, because that gift I'm here to deliver, doing this kind of stuff, speaking with a specific type of high-level individual, it just means too much for me to get bogged down in limitations and things that actually were never mine to hold. Right, so if this is landing with you, if you're feeling this call forward, I just invite you to literally join the free group. Like, that's it. There's no dollars that even need to be exchanged here. Just get yourself in the community. Have a watch or listen to some of my other videos or episodes. Reach out to me on Telegram. Let's just have a conversation, because I've realized that this whole coaching, mentoring thing is not about just me building a business anymore. It's about me helping you guys to go out there and make a change and be the person that you're meant to be, in every sense of the word. And there's a lot of different ways that I help with that, which again, we can go into detail if we chat. But I appreciate you guys watching or listening to this episode. Get yourself in the Unmasked Collective, and I'll see you in the next episode.